Heyo, what's up everybody? Today we are going to be doing another rating weapons video. Today we are going to be doing the Slosher section. And this time we are going to do the Slosher Deco, the Tri-Slosher Noveu, the Sloshing Machine Neo, the Blobber Deco, the Custom Explosher, and the Dreadringer D. So those are the 6 of the different Tri-Sloshers that I will be trying out in this video and rating from 1 to 10 to see how good I like them. Okie dokie, so this one is the Slosher Deco. This one has Angle Shooter and Zipcaster. I like Zipcaster only because then I can, as it's in the name, I can zip around the map pretty easily. And then if anybody tries to kill me while I'm trying to run away from them, I can just, it'll send me back, so. But the disadvantage with that is the amount of people that will probably see the little Zipcaster logo and then start, camping it, so. Because, you can get some pretty direct hits on this, but when you have a team of people that are literally just camping your base, it's kind of impossible to get towards them, so. It is, very frustrating when you have, the other team camping your base and your entire other team and me are not getting kills on them because they are literally, like, probably the worst weapons in the game, and, well, not the worst, but, like, they're freaking annoying to deal with, so. But honestly, this weapon isn't that bad, because you can get some pretty direct drop hits from above, and also because the ink follows where the bucket turns, so like you can do like wraparounds with it. So like if you're turning left and you're like you slosh right before it, then it'll pretty much just like turn it in the direction, like the whole like what is it called? The shorter part of like the middle part of the sloshing part is like the part that turns, and then the regular part is just the very front. Brother, fucking aim. Just to get him to do that. Thank you. Got him. But honestly, overall, I'd probably give this like a 7 or 6 out of 10. Because even though, like, I'm not getting any kills with this weapon because I'm not used to it as much, but it's still a good weapon overall because you can get some pretty good hits on people with this, so. So, for this one, This one is the Slosher Noveu, if I can say it right. This one has Tacticooler and Fizzy Bomb. The only reason I like the Tacticooler is because then I can, you know, respawn a little faster, and also because then I get back to my team easily. Yes, I got a kill with a Fizzy Bomb. Let's go. And I got a kill there too. That's pretty good. Well, overall, I'm pretty sure the only reason I like the Tacticooler is obviously because of its, you know, its speed-related times with, you know, upgrading the speed of how fast you respawn and stuff, but also because you get assists every single time somebody kills somebody, because if they use your Tacticooler, or if they grabbed, like, a soda from it, they pretty much give, like, all the kills that they get pretty much give you assists. But overall, this weapon isn't bad. The only reason that this weapon is insanely overpowered is because when it, like, takes 2 shots to kill somebody. And then, with Fizzy Bombs, if they're dumb enough, they'll try and run from them, but then they'll fail because, you know, they're going towards them, so... Someone's already used their splashdown? What in the hell? But honestly, this weapon, I'd give like an 8 or 7 or 8 out of 10. Because it takes 2 shots to kill somebody, which is insane. And it's also overpowered. And then it also has Tacticooler, which makes you just go faster, all in general. And so it pretty much matches up with the overall kind of mix with the weapon. So this one is the Sloshing Machine Neo, and this one isn't my favorite because it's a little different than the other ones, but it's mainly the only thing I don't really like about it is like the total aspect of like how it works, because mainly I'd use one that, you know, would drop down onto enemies, but this one does that too, but at a, like, you know, a much faster, or, well, I wouldn't say faster, but, like, in sort of a, I don't know what the word is, but whatever. It's got point sensor and tricolor, or not, what in the world? It's got, point sensor and Trizuka, which are pretty good, because then you can mark on your enemies and then, you know, pull out the big weapon and then shoot them in the face. This one is more of a, this one's more of a easier weapon to kill people with because of how it works, but I just don't like it because it has like a weird like drop down and how it shoots and everything. Like, it doesn't cover as much ink as it usually would with a regular slosher, so I just don't think I'd be using this weapon on the daily. But honestly, this one is like it's pretty mid. It's not that bad, but it's also not that good at the same time because of the kit that it has, and also because of the type of style of attack that it has on it and stuff like that. It's all just not really normal, or like at least the way I would use most things. So, or at least most sloshers I would use. So. But honestly, it'd probably be like a 5 out of 10 for this weapon, because, you know, it's not bad, but it's not good at the same time. So, yeah, I'd probably just give it like a 5 out of 10. Because the kit's okay, and the weapon's not a normal weapon I'd use, so yeah. Now, this one is one that I can get my hands behind. This is the Blobber Deco, sorry. Brain can pronounce it right. This one has Kraken and Angle Shooter. Angle Shooter I wouldn't put on a Kraken weapon, but, who cares? This one is really good for long range because this has like a set amount of range that it has, so like you can go pretty far with this. And also the Kraken's pretty good with it, especially because not usually you'd see Kraken on a slosher kind of weapon. So get over here, boy. But honestly, Kraken's pretty good, especially with a slosher. So this one is a pretty good weapon. It's like the Tri-Slosher Noveu, but like it has a lot longer range, so it's better for killing people long range. So it gets me the kills, but it's also very very long range. But since this weapon has long range, it makes it a lot better to use, especially for getting kills that are, for people that are, you know, pretty far away from you and you want to get them pretty easily. So, this weapon is just mainly a long range weapon, just in general. So this one is pretty easy to use, to be honest. And then everybody becomes afraid of you because you're using a blobber and then, you know, just runs away from you. I forgot to say this during the match, but honestly, I'd give this weapon like a like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, because everybody becomes afraid of you because they don't want to get hit by you or killed by you, because so many people have gone through that experience where they've gotten killed so many times by a blobber because they were being stupid and being way too close by it. So that's my honest rating for this weapon. But on to the next one. So this one's a little different than what I usually use, but this is the Explosher, or the custom Explosher, I should say. And this one has splashdown and splash wall. So it's got 2 splashes in it. And so pretty much you can block yourself while trying to do a splashdown or getting ink for a splash or turf for a splashdown. So it makes it so much easier because then you don't have to worry about, you know, people coming up in front of you when they're trying to kill you because you're trying to do your splashdown, but and you also got to worry about that because for some reason they always have 10 missiles. And like I said, nobody wants to be next to a revolver. And there's one literally right over there. But honestly, this isn't a bad weapon because it's also more long range than the revolver was. So it gives you so much more range because of how much more, how long your shots are. So it gives you like a bunch more range than you think it would. But honestly, I wouldn't really use this weapon because it's kind of slow. Not because, you know, I mean, it does get some good damage in on it. It gets like 90 damage per shot if you hit it directly. So it's pretty good. But the thing is it's just not a weapon I would use. Because it's too slow. I like a more fast weapon because then I can actually get out as many shots as I need to be able to kill the other enemy. And also because it takes up so much ink. It takes up way too much ink. It takes up way too much ink for my liking. Because I need that ink to be able to throw stuff down or, you know, explode some people and explode their brains out. But honestly, this weapon would be like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Because it takes up too much ink. The range... Well, the range is actually pretty good. That's probably one of the good things that are on it. But, like, still, though, it's not a weapon I would use, personally. So, it's, like... It's okay. It's not bad, but... It's just not something I would use. This one is the Dreadringer D. This one, the Dreadringers, I haven't really gotten used to, so if I'm really bad with this weapon, that is exactly why. And game lag, holy. And so pretty much this one has Wavebreaker and Squid Beacon, so it's, you know, both like, it's an okay kit if you want to not die in some circumstances. But, oh my Jesus. Mother of holy. It's a pretty good weapon. It's not one that I've used a lot recently. Especially because I don't really use Sloshers a lot. Unless if it's the Tri-Slosher. That's the only one I really use, like, often. But once we get to the splatter shots and stuff, that's when you'll see where I'm good at and stuff like that. Because if you've ever seen me on stream, you'll know that I'm pretty good with, like, splatter shots and stuff. Especially the Order one. But honestly, this weapon isn't that bad. Especially because I've used it probably a couple of times. But that doesn't really... It just doesn't really match up with what I would usually use. So it's not an everyday weapon that I would use often, but it would be a weapon that if I had to choose between one thing or another, then it would be this one. Depending on what the other weapon was. But honestly, it's... for me, it's mid. It's just not something I'd use normally. Because it's just very, what is it called? Can't find the word for it. Brother, I can't... Ugh, my brain. I'll get back to that point later. But it's also very ink-consuming, like the Slosher. And, it's just... I mean, it's not... It's a pretty mid kind of speed for it. Especially because, you know, the Slosher was about the same. So it was, you know, it's not that different from the Slosher, but it just has 2 instead of 3 like the Tri-Slosher. So. But overall, it's pretty mid. It's not something I'd use every day, but the ink consumption on it is kind of like the Explorer, and it's... The speed of it is like a regular Slosher, but it has 2 instead of 3 like the Tri-Slosher. So, it's like a mix between the Tri-Slosher and the Slosher, but with one less, part of it that goes with it, like the Tri-Slosher. So, it's just not a weapon I'd use every day. If I had to pick between, like, a weapon, like 2 different weapons. So... But honestly, I'd probably give this weapon, like, a 6 or 7, because it's got a mix between the Slosher and the Tri-Slosher. But the kit's not all that good, because if you put a different special and a sub on it, it'd probably be better, depending on what that sub and special is. But it's just not what I'd use typically. Well, that was it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. The next one is going to be Splatlings. I am pretty good with those, so that should be a pretty good video. And yeah, we're done with these ones. And then when we get to the dualies, those ones will be fun too. And then once we wrap around back to the to the shooters, then we'll figure it out from there. But it's not over yet, okay? There is still more to come. Keep watching these videos and more of them will pop up. But other than that, I'm going to get off for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't, please subscribe. It would help me out a lot. And I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.